when we were planning the festival, we wanted to make sure that there was a certain diversity of styles that were represented, and I think that came through. I think that people who were both already aware of like chiptunes in general, and I think people who were new initiates to it, who came. I think that diversity was apparent to both.
Everybody's got their own technique and their own vibe to their music, and it's really cool to kind of get a sense of what people are doing in somewhere as far away as Japan.
Hello, I'm from Japan. I'm so tired, but now I'm so happy to see you all here.
There's a lot of abstract music there. There's also a lot of hardcore, so AONAMI stuff is very, fairly abrasive and very pumping and hard sounding.
AONAMI set.
And of course there's Stockholm, where all the, the Swedish chiptune prodigies are consolidated.
Like, is there a liquor store? Whiskey. Yeah, whiskey. No, like Smirnoff Ice.
Ah, wait, malt beverages? Ah, that's right. That's what you guys drink over there. Yeah. Zima?
What's that?
The Europeans have I would, it's not fair to lump them all together, but there is definitely more of a tendency in my mind towards a kind of a Euro disco kind of a feeling.
We Swedes have been trying to emulate the New York disco style for like 50 years. Perhaps ABBA was the most successful.
There are certain artists who are sort of blending the Game Boy or other platforms or whatever they may be using with other instruments. The one that comes to mind is Playcraft from Japan, from Tokyo. You hear this combination and on paper, you think like, how it would never, it just sounds too ludicrous to work, but like live it was just completely cohesive, just incredible sound.
Just like many, I think my early misconceptions were that it was music that tried to sound like video games rather than it being a departure point where the video game sound, NES, Game Boy sounds just led to a whole broader level of experimentation in music.
What's up, bud, Novak? What are you doing? No. I'm just working on some music. I'm just working on. I'm just warming up because the weather, the humidity's been so strange. I did some really good rehearsals this week, and then you know, all of a sudden you can't sing. You know what I mean? You know how it is, bud.
That's why you shouldn't ever rehearse.
I have all these Folkways records you gotta hear. There's this Sleepy John Estes record, Super Black Blues. Holy shit. This record is unbelievable. I'm digging it.
Let's rip off his shit and do
Let's just rip off his shit.
Musical exploitation and stuff.
Definitely.
That's what I'm about.
Have you, did I ever cheers?
You said I don't know anything. You said I don't know anything. But I know outer space is only 62 miles away.
I hate Swedish people.
For me personally, I think that the Game Boy, the artifact, and using it in music it's been like one of my tools. I still play guitar, I still play violin, I still like. I'm trying to learn how to play the accordion. I'm still working on it. I doubt that I'll actually sit. I mean, it's fun. It's good stuff.
You know, you certainly have a contingency of purists and people who want to keep everything kind of intact, you know, like, for example, who would only make music on a single Game Boy and kind of keep it pure to that. And then you have people who will dabble and kind of try to translate that into, I'm going to use a Game Boy as part of my rock band's live set.
So yeah, my name's Pete. I'm in a band called AONAMI. We combine the sounds of the 8-bit Nintendo with a live band. I write all the songs myself using a program called Nerd Tracker 2. It will write a song in the language that the NES can understand, so you're able to burn it to a chip, like so. You open up the cartridge, desolder the chip that's on there, replace it with a socket, and then just slip this in, and you put it in the console, and it will play your song. Yeah.
So am I supposed to do it?
Yeah.
We gotta figure out the time.
Well, I know that for one that we suck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, you fucked up.
I did.
That's
So we
not-
gotta practice
Yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah. And you have a power supply?
Yeah, it should be fine, but I do want to run through it.
Okay, why don't we run through it now?
enough so that you can sit. So, I don't know where to start.
The scene is so loosely defined that there's room for a lot of people to do what they want to do. You know, there's no guidebook of what they're supposed to do. You know, like every person's music is kind of like not what chiptune music's supposed to be to someone else.
This is a program popularly known as Fruity Loops. I'll make like a Tugboat song right now. Yeah. I'll do one from scratch. I start most of my tracks with this. Just some basically sounds that I ripped from NES games. Here's a kick that I use a lot. This is a program that's basically used for making techno music. A lot of people like to make fun of it. I don't really know why. I kind of like that. It's a lot easier, I'm sure, than doing it on a Game Boy. In case anyone's wondering. So those are those chords that I was playing before. So basically we have 2 channels now, and then, you know, the way an NES or a Game Boy would work is there's room for 1 more. So that'll be like something.
That's pretty good, actually. I like that song.
Thank you. It's jolly.
I think it's really important that the performers themselves really feel the differences, and you know, because that could be a source of inspiration, and it just really shows that it's really becoming a big, multifaceted art form.